Oh, hi, Leo. Welcome to your burning question. This is Into the Infinite. I'm Charlie, and most importantly, I'm so glad that you're here. Thank you for joining me for this reading. Now, I wanted to start a timeless series on this channel. Uh, Burning question seemed very apropos given the way that we can kind of deep dive into creativity and all of the good stuff. So, this particular spread, I came up with while meditating and talking to spirit a bit about it, and how this could be constructive and helpful and really useful for people's spiritual paths. But the question that we're diving into today is, where is my creative inspiration hiding? So it's kind of a call to pull ourselves out of this idea that it's like in something or someone other than ourselves, but just taking a look at the spread of how. And so far, it's been a really enlightening journey through the signs. So I'm very excited to see where we go for you, Leo. But let us dive in, shall we? So I'm just going to start with letting my cat out of the room because she's going to start to chirp at me. Come on, baby. There you go. All right. I mean, it's the beauty of not editing, right? 111 on the time. So this is the Hero's Journey Dream Oracle. I love this stack so much. That's where we're going to get some oracle messages for you, Leo. So let's dive in. Spirit, can I get some messages here for my Leo Creative Collective for this burning question? Thank you so much. Ooh, how much good can you handle? One from the bottom too. What would your higher self do? I love this card. So I love both of these really, but how much good can you handle? Explore the upward spiral of grace. I just love that idea, the upward spiral of grace. Like, when you're at the bottom and you're just like moving up through lessons and up through your journey. So good. So damn good. And then what would your higher self do? You are divinity in blue jeans. I just love that energy so much. So, Leo, this is, I think, if this is the overarching energy, I'm really excited to see where we go with this. So Spirit, and then there's healing on the bottom. Yeah, there is. Spirit, can I get some messages for my Leo Creative Collective from this particular deck, just to help guide and further anchor the messages in their journey? Thank you so much. The sun. So, I mean, to come out in your own reading like right away is like very Leo. You're like, I'm here. Spirit, can I get some further guidance for my Leo crew here? Thank you so much. Team Leo. I almost feel like Spirit is answering a question with a question that's designed to pull you deeper in. Like, where's my inspiration? Well, what would your higher self do about the situation that you're facing? Right? Like, and there's nothing that frustrates me more as a Gemini that is prominent in my chart than someone saying, well, let me answer this question with a question for you. Right? Because it can be very important and compelling, and it draws you deeper into your own wisdom. So I think that there is something to be said for it. But when that happens and I'm like, I need an answer quick, please, not a journey. But I think this like, what would your higher self do is how perhaps you're going to be on the upward spiral of grace. So the details of the question I'm feeling are like where you shine. So like, where do you shine in your life, right? Where do other people, oh, this is beautiful. Thank you so much, Spirit. Where do people feel the warmth of the rays of your light? Where do people bask in the warmth of the sunlight that emanates from within you? We all have these places in our lives, even if we think like, I don't. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. There is one place at the very least in your life where people are so not in awe, but they want to be around you when you're doing a thing, when you're being a thing, and not in an extractive way, but I have some friends who they love seeing me in my element doing this, or in other ways when I was doing a lot of nonprofit work and community organizing, it lit me up. It just lit me up. And because I was like, putting things together and strategizing, and it made me really happy to know that I was contributing something that would be of potentially long lasting, at least value for the community, to make something better, to bring a conversation forward, to be like in my North Node, but also in all of the Uranian energy in my chart. Like it just, oh, it was so good. There's a place like that in your life, Leo. And I feel like Spirit is saying, what would your higher self do? But also, like, how do people see you in this sun, right? The details of the question are in the question that you don't necessarily want to ask, but the one that Spirit's kind of pushing you towards now by asking what would your higher self do? Whew. Whoa, yeah. Spirit, can I get some more details here from my wonderful Leo Creative Collective? What's the answer that they're wanting? Yeah, I feel like you know. So these two, this was on the bottom of the deck, as was this. So what I'm getting from this is that there's a 10 of wands, and you're not really wanting to put it down because you're confusing the 10th wand as inspiration or something that's feeding you or fueling you. So it's almost like this, and you don't want to really move forward. So like you want an answer that allows you to kind of keep things status quo. You want an answer that doesn't, like, you don't have to, here's more. You got to go in, you got to go within, Leo. And status quo, not meaning like the way things always were. I mean, like the way that, well, obviously status quo in that way. I'm not trying to innovate on what the status quo means. What I'm saying here is that, like, there's a way that, because sometimes status quo can relate to other people's expectations, but this is all you, right? This is all you. But you've got to give up this. You have to give up this. And I feel like it's like this allows you to play small. Like, this is what I'm getting, is you playing small and confusing like a tiny offer of like, oh, well, I'm just going to be in the Page of Wands energy because it's safer. And, you know, I've been burned in the past, and I don't know, these wands get pretty hot. So I'm just going to stick to the 9. But what it means is that the 10 of wands, this amounts to 10 of wands, and you never put that down. You're just always carrying and like always offering just like a little bit by bit, as opposed to really stepping into your power. And that's where the details of this question for you are, those places where you really shine. You know, where do you really shine? Oh, the candle just went out. So I am going to relight that very quick. Yeah. Where do you shine? That's like, you have to give it up. I'm putting this out right there. Oh, and there was, of course there was. Just so that you know, for spiritual purposes, there's another candle going here. But 8 of Swords, Fool, Tower. But it came out with this underneath, the 8 of Swords underneath the Fool. Almost like the shadow of the Fool is like, hey, are you sure you want to do that? I'm like, hey, I have all these thoughts about it because I'm holding these 9 wands, right? And then the Tower is what you need to really just let happen. That was kind of an adjacent to the spread that I'm building for you. Let me just replace this candle here. Why? Because I can. Okay. Again, the magic of doing things live. I refuse to pause the video for this because I can keep channeling information while I go, right? And that's the beauty of it. So what I'm thinking here for you, Leo, is that there's a way that you're used to shining your light that has kept you in a comfort zone. And there's a way that you've been shining your light that has meant that you don't really fully need to step into your power. And it can be easier when we don't step into our power, because it means that we don't have to take risks. We don't have to risk anything, right? We don't, it's a really tempting offer, because we don't have to, like, we can be bound by chains that we can let go of, but it's sometimes easier to do that than to step into our own power, because then we actually have to take leaps that are deeply uncomfortable. It's time for you to do this. And this can be like career-wise, this can be personally speaking, this can be with the way you're handling your energy, relationships, right? Like, if you've always dated a specific kind of person, and I'm not saying to take risks that would put you in any kind of emotional harm or whatever. I'm saying, like, when you're attracted to a specific kind of person, sometimes that is indicative of a pattern that you have yet to let go of. So dating outside that box a little bit is about not just exploring options and keeping options open. I think that that is also about you moving into a place of like taking chances on things, like taking chances on the right things for you, like the right things for you. Yeah, not this kind of like, don't take chances that remind you of other chances you've taken. I mean, you can do that because when you're healing, it's fine. But what I'm getting is like, there's something about doing something differently from the way it's always been done that's unlocking a lot of stuff for you. And this tower can go one of two ways, right? It can go the Eight of Swords route, or it can go the Fool route. I can guarantee you that the Fool route will be much more transformative and life-changing. Why? Major Arcana versus Minor Arcana, right? So one of two ways. One of two ways. Ten of Cups and Five of Wands. One of two ways. I feel like taking the leap. Who else got that? I do not recall right now. When I channel the information, I channel it. But yeah, taking the leap. It's the truth. That's the freaking truth. That's the one you need to take. You need to just take the leap. Ten of Pentacles. Nine of Pentacles. I think that there's a certain sense of security that you need to let go of, right? This is the kind of this is the position in the spread. This was like an add-on storyline here, but this is like, you need to take a leap, and that means you may have to let go of some things. You may have to let go of, what you thought you wanted. But that, keep in mind, the Ten of Cups showed up on the bottom of the deck here. And I feel like that's an important signpost on the way to something much bigger. Because you are getting into that place of emotional fulfillment, of healing, of Ten of Pentacles, all of that good stuff. Yeah, again, you have to listen to the voice within you because there's some healing taking place, and it's going to allow you to step into your creative and emotional power. I think the guidance here is to resist the urge to hold on tightly to things that no longer serve you. Yeah. And that, to me, is really where the sweet spot is, right? And you may feel like, so the Hierophant represents commitment, but it also represents Taurian energy. And for me, it's sort of like the sort of traditional side of Venus and commitments and contracts and things like that. And I say Taurus and Venus because Taurus rules the second house with Venus, or Venus and Taurus. I'm sorry, they're not, anyways. That's second house energy. So I see Taurus as connected to Venus in this sense, but I feel like there's a way that you have done fulfillment before, Leo. And I think it's about asking not what other people want from you or what other people expect. Or like, this to me is like, it's almost like retiring because like retirement and then what's next. Like the Fool and these energies are like, I get retirement energy. And I think our souls reach these places of retirement as we go through life in general, right? We reach these sort of lessons that we've learned, then we have to integrate something new, and then we take another leap, and we take another leap, and we take another, like, it's sort of life is not for, 13 on the time. Life is not something that we're supposed to be in a 10 of Pentacles about all the time, right? Like we rebuild, we learn lessons, we grow. We have to have a growth mindset. And I think that there's something very profound to be said for knowing the truth that's in that leap that you need to take. I don't think this is something that you want to take, but I think it's something that you really need to take. Because I think it's going to start to close you down. And like when Leos step off the center stage, or they step off the stage, or they step out of their fire and light, it's really, my heart hurts a little bit, right? Because I mean, it's almost like you're setting aside this core part of yourself. But again, like, I feel like you have to be willing to let go of playing small, right? Like the Page of Wands is small. It's a small offering. It's a small message, right? And this Nine of Wands, I feel like, is you, but this is also another part of you. And you're just playing small out in the world because this is your internal dialogue. Your internal messaging is like Nine of Wands. Like, screw that. Nope. Nope. I'm good. So then what this allows you to do is to have your needs satisfied by going out into the world and making small offers, playing small, like pretending that you are the sun, like pretending that within this wand you have the sun, but it's just one wand and a page energy. When you have so much more to give, my dear Leo, you have so much more within you. And I think that's the tower here, is like you're doubting what you have within you. You're doubting what you have within you. And again, towers can go one of two ways, right? Which way do you want it to go? I think that the part here, the Ace of Swords here, the truth here is that the leap will make you feel better, but the staying put will make you feel better too. So it's not about which one will, offer the quickest route to satisfying feelings that you may be having, because I feel like things aren't that awful, right? Things haven't been that horrible. I think that they are getting uncomfortable, but they haven't really been horrible. But I think that if you stay in that place of like stagnancy and you are out of conversation with your higher self, what you may end up finding is that you're more and more disconnected, right? I'm getting this. So I get this to be you right now, like hanging on for dear life to exactly what you've got, because that's all that you think you can have. And then, so I have the High Priestess. Oh my gosh, I'm going to try and hang on to this in a way that is visible and not shaky like a Blair Witch Project scene. But like we have the High Priestess here, and then we have the Hanged Man, and then we have the Queen of Wands, and then Seven of Swords and the Hierophant. So it's almost like going from this High Priestess energy into the Hanged Man. Like I see here, it's almost like you have to decide. I read you in the Queen of Wands. I'm just going to let my cat in because I hear her scratching at the door and it hurts my heart when that happens. Because she's like, I just want to come in. Come on. Okay. Ow. So, yes, Eva. I don't know if you can hear her. She's my little sweet potato. So there's a way that you're learning here. There's a way that you're reaching enlightenment. And I think that the closer that you go to this sort of traditional route, the more disconnected you're going to be. The more disconnected from your truth you're going to be. And I think that it's almost like, again, this can go two ways, right? Like I feel like you're here, Queen of Wands. This is, you're in your element. You're understanding what you want. You're in this beautiful, like fiery but nurturing energy, this fantastic, it feels very good to me. I wish I could articulate 1717 on the time. I wish I could articulate to you exactly how this is feeling to me. But what I'm seeing here is like the High Priestess and the Hanged Man is like, this is you being connected, right? It can go one of two ways, this tower, this disconnect to reconnect, right? What would your higher self do? Disconnect from the comfort, perhaps, but this is also a question to ask yourself, right? And it can go one of two ways. Like you're the Queen of Wands, right? So you get to decide. You can go the route that may be more secure, traditional, in alignment with what is asked of you institutionally and organizationally speaking for where you are. I have no idea what my cat wants. So we'll just say that she's got some wisdom for you too. She's on your side, Leo. She's a little baby cat giving you, the big cat, the messages. Right, Eva? Anyway, I feel like this is a way that you can be like being connected. Now the Hangman, people say it can represent stagnant energy. Sure. I'm sure it can represent that. There's no question. But I get this as more like slow enlightenment that propels you forward, right? Slow enlightenment that is a kind of movement unto itself, but that doesn't necessarily look like it. So I think that this is a call to really see your options very clearly and to make enlightened choices, right? When I was in grad school, we had like informed consent that we had to do as part of research if we did interviews and things like that. So I think that this sort of like, it's almost like you're turning that concept in on yourself, like informed consent, making sure that you see all the options available for all the clarity that you need, so that when it comes to taking the leap, you understand what you win, like what you gain, what you gain from each situation and each potential action, right? And I think that the fact that you're here kind of, it's almost like you're evaluating which way to go here. The route of the slow enlightenment and staying connected to your intuition in order to move forward, because you're looking at starting something new. I'm getting there's a lot of inspiration here, but it's almost like it's been channeled in this weird way. So I think that this is an invitation to not play small. This is an invitation to not play small, Leo. Because this is really like the Seven of Swords and the Hierophant is almost like feeling robbed of a connection to, your higher self. And I think it's also that you're realizing that like maybe this isn't what you want, right? Like maybe this isn't what you want, or it isn't what you thought you wanted. And that's okay. I just want to get a little bit of clarity. I realize I've pulled quite a few cards for you, Leo, and it's funny because I talk to Spirit about spreads and putting them together to give guidance, and then in the readings themselves, I end up getting so many more messages that either extend the spread or make it look different than what it is on paper, which is funny because that's Spirit's like, haha. Spirit, can I get some more messages from our wonderful Leos here, just to kind of what next? Like if there's two options here, can you please kindly give me, pass on some guidance to my wonderful Leos here about those options that they have to move forward, and just some, we don't have to solve the problem for my wonderful team Leo, but what do we need to know here? Yeah, so I'm feeling a sense of boredom and stagnancy. So I think you have to dream it. Whatever you, like, this is you following your dreams. Yeah. This is you following your dreams. Magician. There's Page of Cups on the bottom. If you can dream it, you can do it. Like, that's the kind of energy that I'm getting here. So it's like, there isn't a clear answer, because are you that clear on your dreams and what you want, right? Two of Cups could be love. That would be beautiful. I think that you have to be really clear on what it is that you're wanting. You are in this manifesting energy, though. I'm almost getting this too. Like, it can go two ways. Leo, I don't know why it's coming out like this for you, but like it can go two ways. You're manifesting. You can focus on the Four of Cups, and that's where you're going to manifest from, or you can focus on the Two of Cups, and that's where you're pouring your energy into. Why is this like one of two ways? Like, oh my gosh. Yeah, Two of Swords, Two of Pentacles, Ten of Swords. Can I get one more, Spirit? This one? Six of Cups. Yeah, Ten of Pentacles. I think that this is going to be like a new kind of fulfillment to you, or for you. So I got this kind of imbalance. Like I just got Two of Swords, Two of Pentacles. Like you're not really sure. This is really about like, are your thoughts aligning with your actions and balancing these things? Are your thoughts aligning with your actions? And then it's you taking this step back, this Ten of Swords, and being like, well, it's feeling this nostalgia, but ultimately, like, this is like okay. Oh yeah. Several thoughts try to go through my head at one time, and sometimes it works, and then other times it just sounds like I'm throwing syllables out into the ethers. This Ten of Swords on either side of this Six of Cups. So Ten of Swords, Ten of Pentacles. I feel like this is a reinvestment. This could be, I've read this before, as reconnecting with your why because of the Six of Cups. But I think that there's something about the past that you're letting go of that's allowing you to step into something new. And this could be just a way of being that you've been taught, or things that you've been taught about yourself, like what you should want, what you should do, who you should be with, how you should be in the world. A lot of shoulds, oughts, musts, maybes, justs, only, like all of these qualifiers that we place on our experience that limit our good, but that do keep us safe, right? Oh, I know, because I had to work through a lot of that to put this channel out there, right? It's a hard thing, but let me tell you, Leo, it is such a damn satisfying one once you put the question mark that you carry with you all the time, right? It's almost like this wand is like a question mark, like, I don't know, maybe. And it's like there's almost this inflection at the end of every sentence that you say that makes it so that there's a conditional that allows you to take back, because you're in this Eight of Swords energy. But again, like I feel like the universe is kind of giving you this strong message of like, that there are ways that this can go for you. That there is the great, it's not either or, but like both and. And I think that you need to remember that there's a both and here, but it is informed by these ways that it can go. So it's looking at and being very clear about what you want, and also giving yourself the time to really see a situation. Hanged Man, Neptune, Pisces, kind of muddled and elusive to you, things that are a little bit out of your grasp that feel dreamy, and like 12th house, right? And I think that this is you getting clear on that, Ace of Swords, you getting clear on that, because there's a way that you're moving through it. It's just such a wild thing to me, right? Like Four of Cups. When you're manifesting, when you're in your magician, you can be Four of Cups or you can be Two of Cups. It's like the universe is saying it's really up to you. It's up to you. And it's important to stop looking at external situations as holding your inspiration or hiding it, Leo. How the heck did I... Okay. This is the Miracles Now deck by Gabby Bernstein. So, Spirit, can I get some messages for my creative Leo collective here? The key to getting what I want is to ask for it. I think Taurus had something along those lines too. You could have Taurus in your chart, but yeah, it is. And this is also like the magician energy, right? The magician energy. Four of Cups or Two of Cups. Like, are you going to focus on what you want? Or are you going to focus on what you don't want? Because like, it's up to you, Leo, right? The universe isn't going to, it's not about fixing situations or, dropping abundance on your doorstep when you put the nickel in the gumball machine, which, oh my gosh, I mean, like with inflation, that tells you how, I'm only in my 30s, but like, holy crap, it was nickels when I was a kid. But like, I was thinking about how old I was for a moment, so bear with me, Leo. But like with this stuff here, it's like you're moving through this place. Like you can manifest from a place of what you don't want, but you can also take a different route a different road rather, that's a little bit easier on your system. It doesn't have to be like Two of Pentacles, Two of Swords. It can be Two of Cups. It can be Six of Cups. It can be 10 of Pentacles, right? Again, this idea of like when you connect to your why, it can go two ways, like 10 of Pentacles, 10 of Swords, right? Looking back on the past can go two ways. And it's not that there's a binary of how things are done, but I feel like Spirit's really trying to get this message across to you that you can go beyond these two ways of doing things, but also there's a higher octave of the choice that you want to make. And leaning into that, 2626 on the time, leaning into that higher octave is really important. Really important, because it's like asking what would your higher self do, instead of saying like, well, what would my 3D self, who feels a little bit upset and desperate and frustrated and wanting things different and all of that, and in your Page of Wands and Nine of Wands, whoa, full stop, how good can it get for you? Number one, like these are questions, right? These are questions that life is asking you, that Spirit is asking you. How much good can you handle? What would your higher self do? These are guidance questions. So it's almost like if you're feeling a bit lost or turn around, these are great questions to ask yourself, Leo. So this is the Notes from the Universe on Love and Connection deck by Mike Dooley. So I am going to... Spirit, can you give me some messages for my Leo Creative Collective here on how to rounding out this message for them with some forward movement, healing, and these wonderful options. You'll find what you seek. I feel like Spirit talks in riddles sometimes. You'll find what you seek. You can go with either option, Leo, higher octave or lower octave, but ultimately the choice is yours. And whatever you find is what you're seeking. Like if you want to find the lower octave of things, you have to be very clear with yourself that you're not going to get oranges if you go to the store to buy apples, right? If you've ever suddenly found and been loved by someone amazing, awesome, fun, and fantastic, chances are astronomical you will again. If you haven't yet found such a person, chances are astronomical you will. So this is, I think, the universe saying like you'll get there in like a funny little haha riddle way. I almost get the impression that there's a Leo that's been like trying to like squeeze it out of the universe and be like, come on. And this is the universe being like, no, these are your options. These are your choices. You'll find what you look for, but you're not getting the solid answer that you might want. Dang. Don't be misled. Yeah. This was the other card. Things are not as they appear. That was on the bottom. So don't be misled. Things are not as they appear. You have two options always. And if not two, then hundreds more. But at the very least, you can choose between the higher or lower octave, Leo. So the things are not as they appear. No, don't be misled. I'll read that one first. When fear speaks, it's always wrong, unless being chased by wild beasts or wildebeests. And when love speaks, it's always right and usually bouncy. Game on. Go with what feels warm, Leo. Okay, and things are not as they appear. The lower the price of your love, the higher its value. Brain freeze, the universe. So I think this is really just a message that there's, you may feel like you don't have options, but you really do, Leo. So That is it. And ask yourself that question, what would your higher self do? What would your higher self do, Leo? So if this resonated, feel free to like and subscribe. I really enjoy having you here, and I love to do tarot and offer spiritual guidance and connect with spirit as a channel to give you that. So yeah, there are other ways you can connect with me along the way, through monthly readings and dailies and all of that good stuff. So if you are inclined, I look forward to seeing you there, Leo. But if this is where we part, I hope you have a wonderful day ahead. Thanks so much for watching.